Hey, everybody. There we go. Looks like we may have. Okay, there we go. So, welcome to our lunch break. We decided to do a lunch break and we invited you here. So, we have Rajai Kaldani with getthefrequency.com, myself, Susan Essentials, and Reverend Jodi Suson-Calhoun. And we want to talk about how do you recharge your batteries and really more importantly, why are they getting drained, right? I mean, Raj, it's an issue. Do you agree?
100%. I think more and more people are dealing with it every day.
Okay, so we know that you guys are taking time over your lunch break, so we're going to tell you real quick what's going on, right? And I mean, we're not the obvious things are like if you're drinking, unfiltered water, conventional food that has toxins in it. Okay, we're not talking about that. Okay, we're talking about something you can't see, which you can't see the toxins in your water either. But we're talking about electromagnetic frequencies, and we're talking about where they're coming from. They're coming from, of course, your Wi-Fi, this dirty electricity. It's coming from your smart meters. And for those of you who don't know what a smart meter is, hi, Luke. How are you? You guys hear some nice looking houses. Well, so this is my backyard, right? I got trees that go about 100 feet. So thank you. I'm a happy girl. So we're talking about this dirty electricity. And since we're technically electrical beings, it's really pulling on our energy supply. And how is it doing that? Well, we know that this electromagnetic frequencies are clumping our red blood cells, and that slows down how we perform. We lose our mental acuity, we lose our energy, we lose our
Are you there, Jodi? You froze up. Yeah, so we are exposed to a ton of EMF radiation as compared to kind of the exposure that we were getting 15 years ago. It's a quintillion more times of man-made EMFs that we are being exposed to on a daily basis. We have
okay, so we're back. So sorry about that. Thank you for sticking with us.
All right, you froze again, Jodi. So we are really bombarded with these man-made EMFs, and it's to a point in many cases where people are becoming very electrosensitive. And in places like New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, where you're awash with these frequencies, you're not actually getting exposure. It's drowning out the natural normal frequency of the earth, which is the Schumann resonance. And so it's empirical, or it's imperative that we actually reconnect to this frequency, this energy, because we've evolved with that energy. And that's a way to kind of help your body get back into homeostasis is by realigning with the natural normal frequencies of the planet. And luckily, we have tools that allow us to do that, especially if you're living in those concrete jungles like New York, San Fran, Los Angeles, and places like that. Welcome back, Jodi.
Yeah, I didn't know if So the technology is just going kind of wonky, of course, because we're talking about it's like, hey, you can't talk about us that way, right?
Right. And welcome, Tara. You're absolutely right. We are energetic beings. Everything is frequency, energy, and vibration. And I love that you are on this journey with us and are about raising consciousness and bringing light to the world by kind of empowering people to kind of take back their own wellness from pretty much from the comfort of their own home.
Right. So now, did they hear the story that I said about the smart meters, or did that not come through?
That did not come through. You froze. So you can
okay. So let me share about the smart meters real quick, and then I'm going to have you talk about the science. So I was exposed to 15 smart meters in an apartment that my husband and I were living in. Now, one smart meter is equivalent to 100. Well, the radiation from 150 smartphones, and that's really damaging to our cellular DNA. We had 15, so that was 2,250 smartphones, the radiation from that. So my liver was failing, my kidneys were failing, my heart was weak, my lungs were weak. They didn't think I was going to make it. My spleen was clogged. Well, why is that important? Because that's where those dead cells are, washing away, and my spleen couldn't keep up with the amount of cells that were dying. Bad day. So I spoke to Raj, and I I immediately took action. So the one thing that we're not sharing about, but I did, and I do want to explain about it, is I did get a Faraday baseball cap and a Faraday blanket, but underneath that blanket, I had my cloud, right? Which I'm going to have Raj explain. And I basically cocooned myself with the Faraday blanket and the cloud and my bubble. Okay. And I reclaimed my health. And the doctor said he's never seen anything like that, where I was able to reclaim my health in, I think, 12 or 14 days after having a failing kidney, failing liver, clogged spleen. Yeah, I'm repeating this because y'all need to hear this, because the cognitive dissonance that goes with that. People like, okay, did she really do that? Yeah, she did. And so I want Raj now to explain the science behind these devices and how they help us. Go.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Jodi. Yeah, so essentially what you did is you took a two-step approach, right? So one of them is kind of protection and kind of cutting the negative influences out of your life by shielding, and then with the bubble kind of protecting your field, your energetic biofield. But then in addition to that, you added the cloud, which helped to recharge and reset your system, right? So your system, your body can heal, will heal, does heal if given the opportunity. And what we're doing with the cloud, as an example, is we're upregulating mechanisms in your body. So like man-made EMF that are not bio-friendly, we do know affect like your red blood cells. So when you clump your red blood cells and they're clumped up, there's a condition called rouleau, and that's when your red blood cells are stacking and sticking to each other. So they don't have the right charge that is required at the cell membrane, which potentiates that cell and allows essentially the docking stations for the oxygen molecule to come in and to dock. There's 4 of them on each red blood cell. So if they are connected and clumping together, number one, you're kind of taking those docking stations out of the picture. Oxygen can't dock on both cells, right? On all the different cells that are clumped together, but also because they're clumped together, they're not going to flow properly and be delivered to where they need to go. Tissue, the cells to deliver that oxygen, which is going to help with like ATP production, bring in that hydration that your cell needs, and then take out that metabolic waste. So that's just one way that we are affecting a system within the body. So your blood flow, so microcirculation. But what's unique about the cloud in particular is it has frequencies for multiple systems in the body, not just blood flow. So it's got a program called balance, and that kind of balances out your system. So it's doing multiple different frequency sets designed by really the most world-renowned physicist that has kind of been working with PEMF for 30, 40 years. And
Dr. Kafka, right?
Yeah. Dr. Kafka, yeah, out of Germany. And this is a guy who worked at the Max Planck Institute for many years and is a bona fide, scientist with peer-reviewed studies that he's been kind of working on for many, many years. But essentially what you were doing there, Jodi, is you were removing yourself by virtue of having the bubble and the Faraday cage from the harmful EMF, which are in frequencies that your body really can't use, and just interfere with the normal function that your body your body would need. So some symptoms that you might kind of maybe recognize, or you might have from too much EMF exposure, are things like ringing in your ear, poor sleep, waking up at night, feeling tired, waking up at certain times at night, headaches. Headaches and migraines are huge.
Can I talk about the brain? for a minute?
Absolutely. The
Because you
brain
know that's
fog.
my passion.
Yeah,
So, so what happened? So I also got 4 brain tumors when this happened to me, as you recall, and so there was 2 in the temporal lobe, 1 on each lobe, and temporal lobe. Think about that. That's your temper, right? Like, so people don't sign divorce papers yet. If you're having like a really bad temper, and you and your spouse or you and your family aren't getting along, you need to start looking at these things in the house. Look at your Wi-Fi, look at your TV. Hair dryers are one of the worst offense. I mean, I typically don't even use a hair dryer. These things can impact your emotional well-being and your brain health. So one of the things that I didn't mention is I took this, right? I took I took the cloud and I literally wrapped it around my head. Because, if you're not getting blood flow to your brain, what do you think's happening? Cranky, tired, irritability, name anger, name an emotion. You got it.
it's going to affect everything. How sharp you are, right? How productive you are. Your emotions are going to be affected. One thing I love about this technology is how quick and effective it is. I don't know how many times I've put people on the cloud, right? And they feel light, they feel good, it changes their mood. Oftentimes they get relief right away. It's very impactful, but essentially it's kind of like um, you're grounding and you're discharging, but on steroids. You're supercharging that, and you're essentially giving your cells the energy they need to do the work that they can do. And once they have that energy, they can do that work. Once they have the resources, they can do that work, because every cell in our body literally is a battery, and our cells are what create our energy. ATP production comes out of the cells, and without that, there is no life. So it is essentially, I personally believe, I have this model of this whole electric universe theory, that everything is electrical in nature. And as a matter of fact, just think about the technology that we use. We actually animate that technology through a current, through an electrical current, a charge. Everything's electrical in nature. And we have that in our bodies. Our nerves run on that. Our brain synapses they fire on electrical. And that's why certain like EMF or dirty electricity could interfere, because of the disharmonic or incoherent fields and frequencies could interfere with our own signaling. And that's why it's important to kind of support our own systems by using bio-friendly frequencies that align with our body systems.
Yeah, and I just want to say this. You have a choice as far as how you want to neutralize EMF, how you want to help your body recover, but you have a choice about how you want to do it. But I'm going to tell you, you don't have a choice like that, whether to do it. This is a must do, because they're using 5G now. They're rolling out 10G. Our bodies are not equipped for this. Okay. So it's not like you have a choice in the matter in terms of whether or not you're going to do something to mitigate the electromagnetic frequencies. You don't have a choice. It's either do that or get really sick. Okay. Yeah. But you do have a choice about where to go. So Raj and I have been doing this for many, many years. If you're here, it's probably because, we've invited you, or one of our partners have invited you. So if you're watching this, we invite you to connect with Raj at 847-754-8555, or connect with me, 847-738-0242. And we will, either come by or let you come to I have an office here in Marietta, Georgia. Raj, I think you take yours out on the road. Is that right?
Yeah, I definitely do. I'm based out of Illinois, but I do travel. And, beyond even trying the device, it's also important to get the education. And because it's new for a lot of people. And I think education is a very important piece of it. And so, we could have that discussion even if you're not local, and we can figure something out. But really, I think this is a must-have in every household, and I have a vision of having one of these in every household in America. That is my mission, because I know how imperative and how important this is. Because I see the suffering. I deal with people every day, and I see the impact that it's bringing. I mean, even like myself. I mean, I had I'll share my kind of really very impactful recent testimonial, which blew my mind. And so back in September, I was actually at a red light, and a guy hit me doing about 35 miles an hour. Totally totaled my car. My face went straight into the steering wheel. Real bad whiplash, neck pain, back pain. It was not pretty. But because I have access to this technology, I was able to get rid of that discomfort completely in 3 days. And there are people that go years, if not decades, with discomfort from something like that. As a matter of fact, I met a lady. She was close to 60 years old, and
Hey, I am close to 60 years old. Am I that lady? I don't know.
But no. But
she's so old.
No, that's not the point I was trying to make. But so the point was, she had a car accident when she was 17.
Okay.
Had a pinched nerve in her neck, inoperable. Nothing would touch it. Pain has always been there.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing would touch it. She just learned to live with it. Now, I went and saw her for something else, something more recent. She had other issues or whatever. I sat with her for like an hour, and that discomfort she had since she was 17, gone, just like that. It's like, holy smokes.
Well, and this is what I want people to understand. So, okay, so I'm a big advocate of chiropractic, as you know, right? Because the body doesn't heal unless the spine is aligned. But let's say you're continually going to a chiropractor, and you're dealing with these subluxations, which subluxation of the spine, but you can't hold. Okay, give me 1 second and I'll tell them what you have to say. But you can't hold the adjustment. Why can't you hold the adjustment? Well, because you have muscle memory, and the muscles are so tight. Oh, I get what you're asking. She's like, tell him you broke your wrist 2.5 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and you used the Centropics cloud. Yeah. Okay, I get it. So I broke my wrist, you guys, 3.5 weeks ago. You can kind of see the bruise here. But I use the cloud like nonstop, and I type, I do everything. It's been, I think, 3.5 weeks max. They say it takes 6 weeks just to get out of the cast. Oops. Anyways, but so going back to that, the reason this worked for this woman is because she had such tight muscles and the blood's not flowing. So you get the blood to flow, the muscles can create a new memory, and the spine can align, and the pain goes away. It's not that difficult. This is not,
yeah, oftentimes it's also that little inflammation, right? So that inflammation that's kind of pressing on the nerves, you release that, and boom. And so many people are chronically inflamed. And that's
totally agree. Yeah, they are chronically inflamed. And so, and when I had the brain tumors, the 4 brain tumors, and I actually got rid of them before I left the apartment that we were renting in Kennesaw. But I still had inflammation because the brain had to be protected, right? Because I was in a toxic environment. And then I think like 3 days after being here in Marietta at a safe house, a healthy house, she wants me to talk about her too. Then, that inflammation of the brain went away. So you want me to talk about what happened to you? So what happened? So really important story. So our animals can tell us what's going on. And Fagla's always been pretty calm, sweet, and Raj, you babysat for her when we were in Illinois. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely.
And was she like chewing on cords? Was she chewing on wood? Like
not at all. She was an absolute angel while I was with her. I was with her for a weekend, or actually maybe even a little over a week. 4 days, right?
Yeah, I think you were there for 5 days.
Yeah.
So whatever, but you were there long enough to know, right?
Right. Mhm.
So when we were in this apartment, she had this new behavior, and the behavior was she, she chewed on our cords, she chewed on the doors, the molding, she was chewing everything she could get her hands on or her beak, everything she could get her beak on, because her body was under so much stress. She had to get the energy out somehow. And then I put the cloud over her cage and Tinkerbell. Now Tinkerbell wasn't acting out like that. She's Fagla is an extrovert, Tinkerbell is an introvert. And so Tinkerbell was going inside and self-mutilating, and then Fagla was mutilating the house, right? And both of them stopped once we put the cloud over their cage, and then of course moved them out of the apartment. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, it brings a coherent kind of frequency to your own field. And, one thing I hear all the time, by the way, is how relaxed people feel. And that's an important part, right? Being able to kind of deal with the everyday, day-to-day stress, right? Being able to unwind. I got to tell you, I mean, since I've been using the cloud, I'm just happy all the time. Almost nothing like bothers me. And because I'm just always in a good mood, and I feel I feel good. And so that's an important piece, especially for healing, because you know what, you could either be in fight or flight, which is what Fagula and Tinkerbell were in, or rest and digest, but you can't be in both, and you need to be in rest and digest for your body to heal.
So absolutely have to be in rest and digest. So I want to see if anybody has any questions that they want to post in the thread, in the comments. I put a lot of links in there. So Luke, if you have questions, Tara, Teddy, and I know we have some other people, but they haven't commented, so I don't know who you are, but we're grateful that you're here. So there's information, a ton of information we've put in here. One, if you like this idea and you want to distribute the product, but you don't have money to buy the product right now, which was what my situation was months ago, what I did is I enrolled as a distributor. I still had to pay $150 to do that. Okay, stop it. However, until Tuesday, which is the 20th, you can enroll, and we're waiving that $149 fee. And so then you can start distributing, selling, and then there's a whole model that goes around that. But basically you can sell the products before you buy the products, and then earn your own Centropics cloud or bubble or cocoon. And do you have a link that you want to share for them to enroll if they came to see you, honey?
Yeah, so if you go to getthefrequency.com, there's a join button. It's like a link tree, and you can actually you can click on that join and go through the process, and that $149 fee is waived, which is a great thing, because it's no risk there, and gets you plugged in, and it might be a life-changing thing for you. So definitely take advantage of that, and I'd love to work with you guys.
So thank you for that. Luke wants to know, when am I coming back to visit Illinois? It's hard to leave the trees, I'm going to tell you, but I would invite you to come to Georgia. We have a beautiful home and plenty of places to sleep. But if I do come to Illinois, my husband's going there next week, but he's not going to have time because he's there for work to come out and say hello. I'd love to see Rainbow Bridge. Maybe you can send me some pictures of Rainbow Bridge. That would be lovely. If this is something, Luke, that you think that you'd be interested in putting in your repertoire, There's no fee to get involved right now, which is so. And then, I mean, even if you don't fully understand the product, that's okay, because you can get started now, learn, and as you fall in love with it, then you have now saved yourself $150 for becoming a distributor, right? So
And you're gonna love sharing it, by the way. I mean, once you start using it and you start seeing how powerful this technology is, it's gonna be hard for you to keep quiet about it.
yeah, for me, it was such a game changer. I don't know. Anything else that you want to share? Or
Well, I definitely want to talk a little bit about the design of the product.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll be Vanna White. Do you want to do cloud, or do you want to be do the bubble, or?
Well, let's talk about the cloud specifically, because that's my favorite product. I love all the products, but
Okay.
cloud is my favorite. So, by the way, there's two versions. That's the mini that that Jodi has. But notice how small it is. It's super compact. All other quote unquote PEMF devices on the market typically are a box that's connected, that's actually plugged in to your wall, which has dirty electricity running through it, and that causes some EMF as well. Wires, and then all these other additional add-ons that you kind of have to connect to it. Well, this is self-contained, battery operated. It's very low power, so it's not putting out EMF from being connected to the wall. But it's so convenient and so small that you can pretty much take it anywhere you go. So when I drove from Florida back to Illinois last week, I pretty much used it in my car while I was driving. I just set it on my chair and ran a couple programs, and I pretty much drove 19 and a half hours straight, which is probably not recommended, but that's what I did.
Not recommended, but you did look pretty good, because we got to the hotel at the same time. Remember that? We pulled up right behind you, and he looked pretty good for driving 19 hours straight. I'm just going to say. Craigslist says, don't do that, Uncle Raj. Okay.
Yes. But, hey, it allows you to do things that you normally wouldn't be able to do. But the design of it, right, is unique, so unique that within the first year, the company won a German engineering award for the design of that product. It's got 8 coils in it. No other device out there has 8. Most of them have 6 coils. But then really the secret sauce are the frequency sets. They're very unique frequency sets. We're not talking about very simple square wave or sawtooth wave. That's kind of what the industry standard is. If you find just about any other PEMF on the market, they're using these generic frequencies that have been out since the 70s and 80s. So this is a very different breakthrough, and it actually creates a 3D kind of stereo effect, almost like a holographic frequency set that penetrates your whole body and impacts every cell in your body, including we're talking your bone tissue, so even dense tissue. And so it's very effective. So as Jodi could attest, it helped with her bone tissue from that break that she had recently.
Yeah.
And so absolutely.
So I broke it right before the conference. Remember that?
Yep.
And there's So which was May 30th. So today's the 16th. Okay. So there's something I want to say, and I'm going to say it gently, and I'm going to use code. Okay. So when I was living in Kennesaw and I had all these health issues from the smart meters, I was using another device that starts with a B and ends with an R. Okay. And I was running it like 24/7, actually, not really 20, but I was running it a lot, even in the house, just to keep neutralizing the frequencies. And I was sleeping with it, and it wasn't moving the needle like at all. It's a different frequency with Centropics Cloud, and it harmonizes frequency in a way that I've never experienced. And I'm telling you, my body wasn't healing using the B, R. And so I dropped, I think, between the Centropics, the bubble, which we should talk about the bubble if people want to hang out for that. It's one of my favorite products, and it's super affordable. It's only $890. But I lost track, but basically, I dropped almost $8,000, right? So I bought 2 mats. I bought 2 bubbles, one for me, one for my husband, and of course the Faraday stuff. And I reclaimed my health in 12 days.
Yeah, and you were in.
I could have just died. Yeah, we have another video where the doctor is talking about how he didn't think I was going to make it. Sorry.
Yeah, your doctor had to make a house call.
Right? Mm-hmm. He had to make a house call.
Yeah, you had to make a house call. You were so bad. Yeah. So, look, I'm amazed every time I use it. The bubble is a fantastic device. By the way, this is the world's smallest PEMF as well. It's not as powerful as that, but it does other things. So one of the things it does is it converts the EMF around you, converts it into bio-friendly frequencies. It puts out the Schumann resonance. That's a natural, normal frequency of the planet. We've evolved with that frequency. And, now with all the man-made artificial kind of EMF that we're bombarded in, okay, our body can't evolve quick enough to keep up with that. And so that's why we need something like this to kind of center us and kind of bring us back into balance and add a layer of protection. There's frequencies for your meridians, your skin. It could help with even like your metabolism. And maybe Jodi, you could talk about even like your weight issues, right? Because you were putting on weight.
That's right.
You were, and your hormones were probably.
I gained 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had gained 50 pounds, and I lost like 20 pounds, and then another 5 recently. But because I was overexposed to electromagnetic frequencies, my body went haywire, and I gained all this weight. Now, why would I gain weight? Well, I had a tumor in the pituitary gland that manages your your hormones. So my hormones were shot, my adrenals were shot, right? And I sleep well now. I'm super healthy. I'm losing the weight. Now I did stop losing the weight a little bit because I couldn't exercise, because I couldn't move for, I was healing this thing, got hit. But I don't know what else to say about that other than, if you don't have one, get one. This is not really optional. I just don't think this is optional anymore. With all the technology that's out there, what are you doing to neutralize it?
Yeah, at least have
cheaper than surgery.
For sure.
Yeah.
Any
other questions? Okay. Do we think we have any other questions or just Vagla says that we've covered her story, my story, your story. Does anybody else who has one have a story they want to share? We wanted to make this quick. We know you're taking time from your lunch. So
well, I'd like to also mention
Jodi,
just how impactful this is also for animals. They absolutely love this type of technology, and they're drawn to it, and they're way more in tune with these subtle frequencies than your average person. But with this device, I've worked with a few other devices in the past, and one thing I've noticed just from putting people on the cloud is just about everyone feels something while they're on there. It's quite remarkable. So I'm always getting feedback from people when they use it.
So that's interesting. Because the feedback I got from the product that starts with a B and ends with an R was that no one did feel anything, right? And it is a harsher frequency. It's a harsher frequency, in my opinion. This, again, is more harmonized. And I think, for me, I love using the one that's Transform and Balance. Those are the two, because we have let me just bring up the Centropics page So let me just bring this up. And Fagla is playing with my essential oils here on the counter, but okay, so that is coming up. Computer's just a little slow today. Let's see what we got here. Wow. Okay, so here it is. We're gonna show it, and bear with me if the screen gets kind of wonky, but nope. Here we go. Okay, so this is what your device looks like. Um, this is the large mat. Can we see that up there? Yeah, the large mat and the smaller mat, the mini. This is the bubble. This is the cocoon. This is so the cocoon. I'm very excited about getting. I have not gotten the cocoon yet, but I am just going to say this. So presently, I've been spending $35 a month to use a product that puts the frequency of love and shungite over the longitude and latitude of the house. Well, I've been doing that for 5 years. That adds up. In my opinion, the cocoon is a much better, this is this white box here, a much better solution for keeping the biofield clean and harmonized in the home. So I'm just trying to get that next page to come up. So anything you want to add to that, Rajai?
Yeah, that's a great device for like a home or office, but primarily what it's doing is it's an EMF converter, just like the bubble, but a much bigger version. And it goes out 82 feet radius wise. And what's cool about it is you have additional slots where you could plug in different other frequency sets that are in those cards. You can kind of see on the end there. And there's like, for instance, there's one for the frequency of Hawaii. So Hawaii has a frequency. Every place on the planet has its own unique kind of feel and frequency. And so they've actually essentially put that frequency, they've imbued that frequency onto one of those cards. And it takes 24 hours just to create one card. It's actually 24 karat gold on the circuit board there, and that puts out that into your field or into your environment. And so there's 10 cards total, anything from relaxation to concentration to kind of activating your own body's kind of let's call it healing processes that can happen within the body.
Yeah, and so this is what I'm gonna leave people with. I can't seem to get to another screen, but your home should be your healing home. It should be a healthy home. And so consider that, you know, that your environment and what you surround yourself is going to support whether or not you're able to manifest what is important to you. And you have to remove these interferences so that you can live your best life.
100%.
Anything you want to add before we end, or?
Well, like Tara said, we are energetic beings. Frequency, energy, and vibration is pretty much everything. I do believe we are kind of on the cutting edge and the forefront of this new age of electrotherapy, of really understanding who we are, how we work, how we operate, and how we can better move forward in a harmonic way and actually bring forth life, energy, light to the world through frequencies. I think frequencies are the future of medicine. So
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And I'm so grateful. I'm just actually so grateful that you introduced me to this product and that I'm sitting here, and alive.
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I it pained me to hear kind of what you were going through, and it didn't sound like it was very fun. And I felt like what we had here could really, help you. And and help a lot of people. And that's really what's about. I mean, clearly we have a medical model that's broken, and I think we need to take charge of our own wellness.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. All right, so if you're good, I just want to make sure people know how to reach out to us. So Rajai is in Illinois, and he travels to share our products. His number is 847-754-8555. I'm at 847-738-0242. My healing home is now open for business. We're in Marietta, Georgia. We're in the Zachary Woods subdivision. You know what I'm going to do? Just because I think it'd be fun. I think I have pictures to share. I do. So I'm just going to do this real quick because it's just so cool. Because you saw those pictures, right?
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So this is the meditation room, right? And let's see. That's the other part of the meditation room. And then you go into the healing room right here. And we're playing, of course, you know me, 528 hertz. We have, we don't need the white vinegar in there. I guess that's the end of those pictures. We're just going to stop now.
That's too funny.
Well, so, we're working on the backyard. We're going to have our celebration of our marriage. Andrew and I were married 12/12/21 on top of a mountain. And Rajai is the one who performed the ceremony. Thank you. And our home here is just so amazing. And the backyard we found has, we'll call it an energy spot. And I was called by Spirit to create a labyrinth there. And we're actually going to get married on that spot. You're coming down here to perform that ceremony again with all of our witnesses this time. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So
looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I get to wear the dress. Okay. Yeah. So it looks like we have 2 comments. Luke says he just signed up. Awesome. And Luke, get your friends to sign up because this is a no-brainer, right? Like, because if they change your mind, they can change your mind. But if they don't sign up now, then like they miss the opportunity. And then Luke says quantum harmony galore. We could use some of the white vinegar for our tensor rings. Awesome. Yeah, so we're actually using the white vinegar to get rid of the invasive vines and the poison ivy and poison oak that accompanies all those beautiful trees. So that's why we have a lot of white vinegar. So I don't know who I send the picture to, but yeah, and I'd love to have you down here, Luke. So we're going to have an event. I know Raj and I are scheduling an event here in Marietta, and we just have to pick a date. And we invite everybody to come, right, and explore alternatives to your current health situation or become somebody who helps us share with others like that. They become part of this healing team. All right. And looks like we've got Teddy here. She says, y'all's yards picture in space, very peaceful and healing. Thank you, Teddy. Yeah, it's a thing. All right. I'm going to cut this off because I know, people have places to go, people to see. All right.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
And let's see what we got here. Just there we go.